What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. And in this video, we're going to continue part 2 of the true story of Adam, Aaron, and Apollo. Now, first off, let me say this, that someone asked, who the hell's Apollo? Okay, just in case some of y'all don't know who Apollo Global Management is, we have been told they are this big, evil, giant corporation that swoops in and gobbles up smaller companies or big companies, I mean, if they got the power to do it. But you're going to see in just a few minutes. That's the story we were told, that Adam Aaron is working with Apollo to bankrupt AMC. But what I've recently learned answers a whole lot of questions that are going on in the minds of the apes today. And you need to understand that the apes are divided, all right? You either have Adam Aaron extremist or you have Adam Aaron hate extremist, all right? And you know that both of them by the fact that that's the only videos that they can put out, that they're not looking at this shit objectively, that they're only playing to their audience. But I'm trying to find out what's really going on with AMC, and as I figure it out, I bring it to you, okay? So, let me give you a spoiler alert. Adam Aaron is not working with Apollo to bankrupt AMC, all right? And I'm going to prove that as the story gets ready to conclude here in part 2. And we're over here on Reddit where somebody in the Discord shared a Reddit post about Apollo Global Management and Adam Aaron's history, and I've done a little deeper digging, and I found out exactly when Apollo took over AMC, and we're going to get to that in just a second. Before we do, let me explain something to you people. Something you already know. It's very simple. You see a house you want to buy. You go to the bank. You put an application in for the loan, for the mortgage, and they evaluate whether you're a good fit for that mortgage or not, right? Paperwork gets done, the house is yours, you pay a mortgage every month. We know this. If, for some reason, you can't pay your mortgage, the bank will foreclose on you, and they will take that house away from you. You will be out on the street, and the house will belong to the bank. Now, the fact of the matter is, you didn't pay the mortgage, and now the bank owns the house to send somebody in, fix it up, get it ready for resale, and the process starts over. All right, we know this is how it works. And this is the business that Apollo Global Management is in. They loan money to corporations. And if something happens and that corporation or company can't pay their loan, or they go into bankruptcy, Apollo takes over the company. Just like the bank would take over your house, Apollo takes over that company. They send people in, they strengthen the finances, they get everything running right in that business again, and then they resell it for a profit. That's how it works, okay? And this is the business that Apollo Global Management is in. They loan money to corporations. And if something happens and that corporation or company can't pay their loan, or they go into bankruptcy, Apollo takes over the company. Just like the bank would take over your house, Apollo takes over that company. They send people in, they strengthen the finances, they get everything running right in that business again, and then they resell it for a profit. That's how it works, okay? Now, with everything we know, let's read what he says here. In the 1980s, George Gillette was building a billion-dollar empire based on the odd combination of meatpacking and television stations, in addition to Vail Mountain, much of which was financed by junk bonds of Dextral. Okay? Real quick, junk bonds are not what most people think they are. I did some research into them last night, and junk bonds are just there. That means that's the last person that you can go to before you're totally denied for a loan. You can get great credit ratings up here or all the way down to the bottom. Junk just means it's the lowest bond that you can have, all right? All this came crashing down for old poor George Gillette in 1991 when Gillette couldn't pay off the debt on the notes from Milken. Gillette Holdings filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and Apollo swooped in and became the majority shareholder by 1992. Now, they didn't swoop in. They loaned the motherfucker some money. He couldn't pay it, and so they took the fucking resort from him. There's absolutely nothing evil with that, people. That's business. He knew the risk of losing the resort, just like Apollo knew the risk of losing their money and end up with a failed resort. But anyway, old George couldn't pay the debt, so he went into bankruptcy, and Apollo took over the company, all right? Black quickly began selling off much of the assets held by Gillette Holdings, but kept Vail Resorts as part of the Apollo Ski Partners division. In other words, they were selling off everything that was dragging the resort down. They sold off all other interest to that, and they kept just the resort. All right, pretty smart. While under the management of Gillette, Vail Resorts thrived. How could it be thriving? I told y'all that last night. It's full of shit. All right, he says they was thriving, but they weren't. They couldn't pay their bills, and Apollo foreclosed on them. From 1996 to 2006, Aaron was hired by Apollo as CEO to oversee their investments in Vail Resorts, okay? Now, there is nothing evil here. Adam Aaron has been hired by Apollo to go into Vail Resorts, clean it up, patch up the holes, change the carpets, get Vail Resorts ready for resale. That is their intention. And Adam Aaron is now the CEO of Vail Resorts, and he starts turning things around. By 2004, Vail Resorts was successful. It was turning a profit, and Apollo decided it was time to move on, and they got out in November of 2004. That's very, very important. Write that date down, November of 2004. All right? And then 2 years later, Adam Aaron jumped ship. He didn't jump ship. He left on a high note. It was his 10th anniversary, all right? And he decided, hey, you know what? We're successful. I've done my job, and I'm happy with the job that we've all done together by turning Vail Resorts to a profit, and it's time for me to move on to bigger and better things, all right? Here he said Aaron's loyalty lies with Apollo and nobody else. Well, I guess so. Apollo is his boss. Apollo hired him to be the CEO of Vail Resorts. But see how you could just word it a negative way like that? His loyalties lie with Apollo. Well, of course it fucking did. Don't worry, I'm coming up on how this plays with AMC, okay? In fact, I'll give you a spoiler alert. Let's look over here at this SEC filing I found. Very interesting, and I didn't know this either. J.P. Morgan Partners and Apollo Management to sponsor acquisition of AMC Entertainment Incorporated. AMC shareholders to receive $19.50 in cash for each share of common stock. Transaction valued at $2 billion. And the date of that article is July 22nd, 2004. Same time. They bought AMC. J.P. Morgan Partners and Apollo bought AMC for $2 billion in July of 2004. All right, the same time over here with Vail Resorts, 5th of November 2004, they were out. So they got out, they bought AMC and they got out of the ski resort business, okay? He says here that in 2006, Adam Aaron shocked everyone by announcing he was quitting, but not before cashing all of his shares of course, all right? He sold all of his shares before he quit Vail Resorts. Now, that's an interesting story too. And let me pull myself up for this one. I'm not even going to worry about going to the documents. You just look it up yourself. What he done was, one of the incomplete projects that was going on at Vail Resorts, okay, was a condominium that was being built. Now, when he sold his stock and his options in the resort, he donated the money back to the resort and said, I want this money to be earmarked to complete the condominium and enhance the value of Vail Resorts even more. Only one thing. You know that sounds real good? Guess who owned that condominium? He did. So, he was having a condominium built on Vail Resorts, and he sold his stock and his options and donated the money to Vail Resorts to build his condominium with. I wonder how that tax situation went, Adam. That the condominium that he donated the money to have built was his, and upon completion he sold it. So even though it looks like OAA was a good old boy here selling his stock and giving it back to the company so that this could be done and enhance the value of the business, which it did, he profited as well because it was his condominium, and when he sold it for a profit because it was done. And is anything wrong with that? I don't know. You'll have to talk to a tax expert that can figure out, did he skim on some taxes when he made that situation happen. But okay, we're at the point now where we now know that Apollo loaned the ski resort money. The ski resort failed. They took it over. They sold off all the other assets, the TV stations and shit that was holding down the resort. They sent in Adam Aaron to fix the place up. He did. And when he was done, 10 years later, Vail Resorts was successful. Mission accomplished. He said he was stepping to the side. But we now know that in 2004 also, they bought AMC. And we also know that in 2016, Adam Aaron came in and he became the CEO of AMC. All right. So now, that's it for this video. When I do my next video, I'll start it off here with JP Morgan Partners and Apollo Management to sponsor acquisition of AMC Entertainment for $2 billion. All right. Just so you'll know what the article is going to be about, it says AMC Entertainment, one of the world's leading theatrical exhibition theater companies, today announced that its board of directors has approved a definitive merger agreement pursuant to which AMC will be acquired by Marquee Holdings Incorporated, an investment vehicle owned by JP Morgan Partners, the private equity arm of JP Morgan Chase and Company, and Apollo Management, a private investment firm. All right, JP Morgan Chase will own approximately 50.1% of the company following the transition. All right, so they took it over in 2004. In case you didn't know, I didn't know that until last night. I'll get to this and talk about this, and we'll continue on with the story. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you are a subscriber, hit the notification bell. YouTube is telling me that only like 18% of y'all have hit the notification bell. If you watch a video and you like it and you subscribe, you will still not get a notification unless you hit the notification bell. So with that, love y'all, be blessed, and I'll get started on the next video now for y'all. See you then.